Well, if we can zoom in on Tony Atlas, we can see him at his favorite occupation, and that is signing autographs for youngsters here at the Sam Houston Coliseum. And there are lots of them, and there are lots of signatures of Tony Atlas around. But let's give Boyd Pierce a chance to introduce the contestants in this event.
This event, 2 out of 3 fall with a 45-minute time limit. In the red corner at 250 pounds, Mr. USA from Roanoke, Virginia, Tony Atlas. And across the ring from Mexico at 250 pounds in the blue corner, Gran Markus. Your referee, Bronco Luby.
Gran Markus, tough Mexican star and one of Mexico's best heavyweights, against Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas has earned the right to be called Mr. USA in a physique contest held in New York City, and he is now in serious training for the title of Mr. Universe, but he is also in serious training for the title of heavyweight champion of the wrestling world. And this is the difference between Tony and a great many other bodybuilders. Tony has the power to bench press 500 pounds. He has the wrestling ability to carry the match to the world's heavyweight champion, and he has done it. And he expects to put those great muscles of his to good use. So he did it that time, and that was the crotch and slam that he applied to try to knock some of the fight out of Gran Markus. We saw it, referee saw it, so the hold is broken. And as Tony rises up, he has another facet of his athletic career, and that is that he can handle those fists of his in fine fashion. Tony Atlas, a tremendous athlete. Waistlock, he's waiting for Markus to make a move, and Markus is waiting for Atlas to make a move. Each waiting for the other to make a mistake. So Atlas disregarded the fact that his arm was held in an arm bar and was able to swing around and come up with the answer that time. Japanese arm lock for Tony Atlas. And Markus is matching strength with him in this particular grip. And of course, it's man-to-man strength here, where leverage plays an important part in the ability to switch a hold like this. Not sheer strength, but a lot of leverage, and then taking a man off balance always helps. So Atlas bounced up to his feet ready, and Markus, when he saw how ready Atlas was not quite as ready himself. Japanese arm lock again, and Tony, as he gets into that square stance of his, is trying to get well balanced enough to do something about it. There it is. He reverses the grip, goes into a hammerlock, and Markus just as quickly goes into the ropes. Crotch hold and a fireman slam. Markus that got out, but he did not estimate the damage that that slam on the back had done to him. He got up groggy and had to worry about it. So Gran Markus doing the pounding, and Tony Atlas feels it, and this is the way that Markus is going to have to use to try to wear down this massive muscle man. That one hit him right smack on the forehead, and Tony now is slowly turning around to let Markus know that he didn't do anything that time but wake him up. It won't be so this way. Oh, Markus does not have the benefit of the solid cranium that Tony Atlas boasts. And this crowd here at the Sam Houston Coliseum is well aware of it. So Tony on the move. And hard slam again, and he comes down with a good solid elbow. Oh, dove in there with his head. On top is Tony Atlas, and the winner of the first fall.
The winner of the first fall, 4 minutes, 43 seconds, Tony Atlas.
So Tony Atlas takes the first fall in 4 minutes and 43 seconds. The time limit on this match is 45 minutes. So we have the first fall scored, and we're going to be back. Well, let's take a look at Gran Markus as he maneuvers along that canvas. He is still stunned from what happened to him that time, and well, I'll tell you, when we come back from the studio, we're going to have to see whether Markus is going to be able to get up and even the score. Right now, let's pause for this word from the studio. The bell has not yet sounded for the start of the second fall. Gran Markus has managed to pull himself up to a standing position. Several people were shouting that he had reached into his trunks. Whoop. That could scare a man. He felt the heavy hand, but he wasn't quite sure. And now the countdown for the bell for the second fall.
3, 2, 1, the bell.
And Tony Atlas now ready for El Gran Markus. But so is Markus now ready for Atlas. He wasn't about to let him resume the kind of punishment that ended the first fall. On top, we've got Gran Markus, and Atlas, with those strong arms of his, was able to literally push him out of the way. The grip is on the chin. He's trying to hook his fingers in his mouth and jerk him around that way, but we've got a mad Markus who is able to use his fists and his feet and has rocked Tony Atlas, in spite of his strength and his power, right down into those yellow shoes of his. And this could be it as far as Markus is concerned. He's top man. He's got a foot on the rope. It didn't help him. So Atlas has come out. Markus is again trying to strengthen his balance position. And Tony being set up in the corner, but he comes out of there with a grip, and he tried to go for a body scissor that time, but the punishment he had taken nullified some of that effort. Fans screaming for Tony, who is picked up and slammed. Ooh, he was slammed and slammed hard. Atlas on top. I beg your pardon, that was Markus on top. I was dead wrong that time, and just an inadvertent slip of the tongue. But there's no slip of the hold here as Markus comes to try to do a somersault and land on top of Atlas. And Atlas has a crick in his back, and as anybody who can tell you who has ever had one, you feel for a guy when he has been bounced on his back and it starts to react. So Tony has not been able to get anything going in this, the second fall of this match. And as Markus bounces on him, he is not going to get anything going. The reverse chin lock by Markus. He's trying to force a submission fall, but Tony has gotten his leg around in front of him, so he maneuvered out of what could have been a backbreaker. He is in better position now to do something. And Tony Atlas took a wallop alongside the jaw as Gran Markus now gets a warning from the referee to open up that fist. So with the rope being used to garrot him, Tony is in continued trouble. So Markus now following up the best advantage he has had in this match by far, and if he can keep it going, he is going to have Atlas where he wants him. So there is life and plenty of it in Tony Atlas as he manages to bowl Markus down to the canvas. Markus' continued punishment here has literally got Tony Atlas hanging on the ropes, and it's a tough spot for Mr. USA to be in. Clobbered him again right on that same spot that has been bothering him. Crotch, and he tried to slam him. He fell backwards because his back would not hold up under the pressure, and Markus argues that he should have had a 3 count. And Atlas catches punishment again. So he has been under the gun here, and this could be the end of this match if he loses this fall due to all of that punishment. Japanese leg lock for Gran Markus as Tony Atlas has the pressure put on him and tries to do something about withstanding it. The crowd starts to beat that staccato beat to encourage him. They are pounding out, "You can't beat Texas," over and over again. "You can't beat Texas." And Tony hears it, and he's trying to put some action that would change this fall around, but right now he is not able to do it, but he is slowly but surely crawling to the ropes over here on our left, slowly inching his way, trying to get away, and there you can see what Gran Markus did. So Atlas gets another barrage of kicks that are all aimed at the idea of keeping him from getting up off that canvas. He's still on the canvas, but he is dishing out punishment. So Atlas is a little more ready now than he has been for 5 full minutes that he was taking punishment in this battle. Markus found his mark, but he didn't have as much steam in it as he had in some of the other punishing blows that he had landed. And when Tony came back, it was proof that he was able to reverse the trend of absorbing punishment. And now, with that lumbering roundhouse right, now we've got Gran Markus, and it looked to me like beyond a doubt, and I'm not trying to referee this match, that he had used something in his head. He just gave a headbutt to Tony Atlas, and Atlas took it, and Markus is having his problems, but look at Tony. That time he drove his head into the masked head of Markus, and it reacted against him. Trouble, ripped it across there, and Markus now, he hit him on the side of the head, on the temple. He gave him a headbutt, but not in the traditional place over the eyes or on the front of the head, but he drove the head.
8 minutes, 12 seconds, El Gran Markus.
He drove his head that time into the side of Tony's head, into the temple, and Tony is down, and Tony is in danger of being out and in danger of losing this next fall. We'll be back here in a moment. Right now, let's pause for this word from the studio.
3, 2, 1, the bell.
Now, the deciding fall of this battle here at the Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas, and the man on the receiving end is not on the receiving end. It's Tony Atlas now who starts to get mad at what has happened and who takes after Gran Markus, tries to set him up. Whoa, he cut him out from under. And Markus is in trouble. A blasting, battering wallop, but right on that back that plagued him so much in the second fall, and it didn't do Tony Atlas any good to land that blow. So Markus now senses that if he's going to do it, he better get it done right now. He's got to move in for it. Solid right. And Atlas, with those 22-inch arms of his, whether he can deliver a blow with a snap of a boxer doesn't matter. He delivers it with the solid power and weight of a wrestler and a weightlifter. So Markus is in trouble temporarily. He was smart then. He tried to cut down on the underpinnings of Tony Atlas. So Atlas draws way back, and just the sheer movement of that huge arm is enough to keep a guy solidly down on that canvas. I'll tell you, it's like being hit with a 2x4, a 22-inch round 2x4. There's a back body drop, and oh! But notice Tony. He put a supreme amount of effort into heisting him up that time and then dropping him. He lifted him clear, and that takes a lot of power, but it's the back that was bothering him. He's going for the pin, but Markus is firmly on his side, so there'll be no pin. He hit him, but he hit him partly with his face and head and partly with his body, so this could wind up with both men being counted out in this fall, which would make the match a draw. But now, as they start to get into defensive positions, there the count ends. Tony Atlas looking for the chance to splatter Markus on this canvas, and Markus looking for a chance to weaken Tony to the point where he can. Well, he weakened him, but not to that point. Tony was able to swing him around and drive him in there. Kicked him in the lower leg. Here he is again trying to go for the pin, but he wants the support of the leverage he can get by pushing against the ropes, and he's screaming that they should have counted more. Tony tried to get in there to use a sunset flip to get over his back, but he didn't quite make it. And Markus now is trying to set the muscle man up where he can pound him down. Tony doesn't pound easily, I'll tell you. Tony Atlas trying the battering ram tactics against Gran Markus. Gran Markus going now for the loaded mask, and he's having his problems because it isn't working as well on Tony Atlas as Markus would like. Now this is more like it. These series of blows are cumulative, and a beautiful drop kick. Tony Atlas comes up to drive Markus down to the canvas. He hit him with a headbutt, but he drove it right into the loaded portion of Markus' head. There's one, there's two, there's three, and we've got a fall. And listen to that crowd as they whoop in support of Tony Atlas.
5 minutes, 20 seconds, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
So the winner of the third fall and the match, man who used his head even though he knew it was going to hurt, Tony Atlas, now finds these fans pounding the canvas, willing to encourage him, to cheer for him with a lot of noise. So the winner in this three-fall match is Tony Atlas, Mr. USA from Roanoke, Virginia. We tell you, we'll be back here in a moment, right after we have this word from the studio.